Good morning.
Good morning and a happy new year to you. And welcome to Sunrise. My name is Alero Edu.
My name is Kadi Akintami. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2014, the year of election.
No.
I know it is not, but it has come early. It has started early. Everything in Nigeria from the 1st of January 2014 has been pointed towards election, and it looks like we are in serious palaver, as they say in Nigeria.
Right, you are.
Serious palaver.
So we have started.
We have started
the march towards 2015.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that worried me the most is the story that we carried yesterday, which was the story of Chidi Lloyd. And
River State.
In River State. And that really portends very serious consequences for this nation if we continue to allow things to get politicized. Lives were lost in that incident.
I still don't understand that story. I don't understand it.
The story from both sides has been different. There is the allegation on the side of the police that Chidi Lloyd was the one driving, and he was pursuing some people, and then hit.
We're told that Chidi Lloyd was nowhere near that area.
Well, according to the other side, we understand, yes, Chidi Lloyd was most likely in the vehicle, but he wasn't the one driving, that his driver was the one driving and possibly speeding, and as a result of it could not stop because there was a truck that was not obvious, and meanwhile there's a checkpoint just around that area as well. So trying to avoid the checkpoint, he ran into a policeman and a passenger that was being checked, and then the vehicle got hit as well.
That's not what his lawyer said.
So you really don't know, and the whole thing is now being politicized, and you're thinking, what is the truth of this matter?
And 2 lives were lost.
And 2 lives were lost. So that is quite disturbing. That is quite disturbing, because when lives are lost and you begin to politicize it, and it becomes a case of you really will never know the truth, because it is assumed. It is assumed that the police is political, and the one that is really political, which is the opposition, they will say, no, we're not being political, we're just being correct.
It's just unfortunate that it happened to be the opposition person who was in that vehicle. But did Chidi Lloyd and his party know that that was his car?
I don't know. So it's just weird, because nobody seemed to know what the truth is, and the fact that it's now a political issue is quite disturbing. It's if it is a criminal case, then it should be a criminal case. It should not be turned into a political case, especially when lives are lost. It should never ever be politicized. It should not.
And are you wondering how at the beginning of every year we have this sort of Damocles, so to speak, hanging over our heads regarding fuel? What is the situation right now? New Peng and Pengerson threatened in December that they were going to embark on a strike action. And one of the main reasons given was the government's plan to sell the refineries. But government came out yesterday and said clearly that there was no such plan. Meanwhile, we're hearing about price hikes and queues in some parts of the country. And so what is the exact position? Who knows?
Nobody seems to know. No one is sure about anything at the moment regarding that. There is a story from the side of NNPC saying that there's not going to be any fuel shortage. There's no reason for it. We are on channels. We had an interview with one of the GMs at NNPC, and they said there's not going to be any fuel shortage. And NNPC, the Pengerson and New Peng, the federal government has cleared the air with regards to this issue of sale of refineries, which is one of the reasons why they want to go on strike. So there's really no reason for them to go on strike anymore. So,
well, there is another reason, the PIB. They want the PIB passed ASAP.
That's true, and that one is not going to be down to the federal government. It's the National Assembly. So should we then be holding National Assembly to account and say that they've got to make it happen as quickly as possible?
Well, we'll just appeal to them to please look at it and make sure that something is done. We've been at this now for about 10 years. It's time something were done. If all that the industry people tell us is correct, that'll be the best thing that happened to Nigeria.
Yes.
So why is it taking us so long?
Again, we are in the season of politics. And I'll keep reiterating that we're in the season of politics. This is the year of politics. This is the year of election. It's come early. And it means that the National Assembly will be extremely divided and they will not be able to come to a conclusion. And it will seem like any decision that has to benefit the people of Nigeria may not be seen to be activated because
it certainly will not be in the front burner.
It will not be in the front burner, and that is quite disturbing. And this is not the way politics is played in other parts of the world that has faced development.
This is Nigeria, Kayode. This is Nigeria.
Peculiar. Peculiar.
Yes, I have cause to go somewhere that we went last week. The airports.
Yeah.
Because I had cause to be at the airports 2 days together this week. And it's very painful to me that you arrive in Nigeria and it takes you about 2 hours to get your luggage and leave the airport. The conveyor belts on one side, I don't know about the others, was working in bursts, it was, in paroxysms. It would work, bring out about 5 suitcases, stop for a while. So most of the work was done manually. So what is all this shout about the airports, Lagos airport being improved and all that, when you still have to spend 2-3 hours after you land before you actually depart the airport? And there's no waiting area, there's no where you can sit down and wait if you are waiting passengers arriving. You have to hang around and stand around, whether it's raining or it's sunny, you're out there in the sun. In other places, there are decent waiting areas. Can you please treat us with some dignity? I know we can be impossible people, but if you treat us right, we will behave right.
Well, you have some amount of point in that statement.
Only some amount. Okay, all right. Tell me where I don't have a point.
Well, the point is this. The Minister for Aviation and the Ministry of Aviation, FAN, NAMA, NIMET, NCAA, they have all said consistently that the level of decadence and the level of destruction of the sector that we have had in the last 30 days and ignoring that sector for 30 years, I said 30 days. I think fasting is coming into my head now. So, and it's supposed to be 100 days of fasting in some church now, but okay, I'm not going down that road. That's another talk. But in terms of 30 years, if you have ignored a sector for 30 years, what you're likely to have is the situation we have now.
So we should be patient.
It is something that's got to be observed with some serious amount of patience. At least we see some amount of work that has been done. We've seen the D wing and the E wing at the international airport, where the things that, what's it called now, that is used for I can't find the words now.
What thing? The conveyor belt?
The conveyor belt.
Okay.
That kind of morning. That's what it is today. And I haven't got any hair, so
never mind.
Oh gosh, yes.
Like they say in my country, idea is need.
Idea, it is indeed.
We're following your argument.
So it is something that it is quite clear that work is being done, and that work will take time to reach a decision, to reach a point where we will all be proud of. But it is important that the Minister for Aviation, the Ministry of Aviation, and all the agencies within that ministry take their work as seriously as they have done in the last year or two, and they also speak out to let people understand when there are challenges. Let people understand that there are challenges, because we're Nigerians, we will complain, and we will complain loudly.
Okay.
So when things go wrong, we've got to understand that this is why it's happening now, so that communication is there.
Okay.
You know,
and I
so
think it's also important that we scream to let them know, because sometimes, I mean, like in the case of NEPA, you have an outage and you call NEPA 24 hours later and they tell you they are not aware. According to the equipment in their office, you have power. So there's a local fault of which they are not aware. So I think it's also important that we should also scream all the time and tell them that we have noticed this, and attention needs to be directed at this area or that area.
That is one area that I know the Minister for Power has said consistently, that if you notice anything wrong in the power sector, please feel free to talk. Let us know. Because if we're not aware of it, there's nothing we can do about it. So he's always willing to listen, and he's said consistently, please make some noise about it. And we've asked him, and we're still waiting for a response. We want to know, who are these operators? The GENCOs, the DISCOs, and the TRANSCOs. We need to have a name, a face, or faces and names put to them in such a way that it makes it easy for me to know it is a co-distribution, and this is the MD, this is the head of corporate communications, this is the person we ask questions. In the days gone by, you and I would call PHCN and we know who we're talking about, or who we're talking to. But now I have no idea who are the people that is in charge of my area. I have no idea who's bought it. So we should know, and they should publicize this fact so the Nigerians can take those people to task and challenge them and let us know why they're not functioning properly.
And by the way, I'm sure the minister is watching this program. I mean, power in Lagos is still down below at probably 2% or something. There's no power anywhere. And I saw a story on the news last night about small businesses in Ajegunle area, and their major concern was, please give us power and our businesses will do better. Yeah.
Whatever gains this government might have had in the last 2-3 years, whatever gains whatsoever that they might have had in terms of improving quality of life, no matter how minute, in terms of increase in business opportunities and exploring businesses and developing and growth, and we're talking about GDP that has increased as a result of agriculture and other real sector, which might be minimal, but it's still some amount of growth in our economy. And if we're to look at that and then compare it to the fact that things are going to go down and down and down, it will be spiraling downwards rather than upwards. So there is a need for government to stem this tide of poor supply of electricity, because it destroys businesses. No matter if you're a small business and you have to spend 6,000, 7,000 naira a day
on fuel
on
for your
diesel,
generator,
it's definitely going to seriously impact your ability to be competitive.
Well, the president has said that by mid-year we'll start seeing a difference. But people, I mean, you know, Nigerians, ever so skeptical. Oh, we've heard that before. We've heard that before.
And would I blame them? Doyin Okupe was on this program last year, and he said it, that before the end of the year, that we will see an improvement.
In fact, we have seen an improvement negatively.
I would expect that we will find that video of Doyin Okupe, Dr. Doyin Okupe, the SSA media, to SSA Public Affairs, to the president. Would like to see that video at some point saying, yes, before the end of this year, we'll put in that tag 2013, saying that we will see an improvement, and we have not seen. Yes, there's been a change. Again, I would give...
Has there?
No, the change is in terms of the unbundling of PHCN.
I was wondering.
It's unprecedented, and everyone should commend.
There's no power.
Yes, there is no power. Everyone should commend the federal government that you've been able to get this far in terms of the unbundling of PHCN, because it has become a dinosaur that will not deliver any good for Nigeria. They've done well with that, but we still need power.
Mind you, a friend of mine came in from Akwa Ibom and told me that they have power in Akwa Ibom. It looks like it's Lagos mainly that is suffering this lack of power.
No, it's not Lagos. Some of the state governments have been working some amount of wonders in terms of having their own generating plants. I think Niger Delta Development Company is working on some amount of power generation and some amount of distribution. There is a Niger Delta Power Generating Company or something like that, the one in Sapele.
Yeah.
So they are generating something, and as a result of that, I guess the citizens in their state would have, in some areas, not everywhere, because I remember hearing from River State that there are certain areas that they're having power because the state government has been generating and distributing power in those areas, and they're having it almost 24 hours a day. So that is good.
Where is the so I can move there? And I mean, our governor in Lagos State is normally quite proactive. It would be nice for us to hear what the Lagos State government is doing about power, because I mean, this is the economic nerve center of the nation, and more power will mean more business in Lagos. It will generate more taxes, and it goes on and on and on, the ripple effect of the supply of power. So what is the Lagos State government doing? It would be interesting for us to find out.
It will be interesting, and of course we're extending invitation to His Excellency, who has done excellently well for Lagos State.
Yes, yes, yes.
A lot of people are saying, yes, that